Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's time for the TNA Event Center report. And now here's the man to give you all the total non-stop action and impactful report, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 2404 of the show. How's it going? It is 11:24 p.m., the 20th of July, 2025. How's it going? I just finished watching Slammiversary, and I want to talk about it because Slammiversary has been quite the eventful evening. Everything has been hanging in the balance, including championships been hanging in the balance. Let's kick it off with the countdown to Slammiversary as Tommy Dreamer and Monty Slamovich during the panel that had Gia Miller, Bust Opens Dave LaGreca, and Tommy Dreamer, and from Skid Row, Snake Sabo. And they came out and brought out Johnny Rodz, who is a New York wrestling legend in New York, training a lot of men and women in the wrestling business to fulfill their dreams, including Tommy Dreamer and Monty Slamovich herself. And Tommy Dreamer wanted to give Johnny Rodz his flowers, so that's much respect for Tommy Dreamer to do that for Johnny Rodz. Meanwhile, the Knockouts Tag Team titles were on the line. The Elegance brand, Ash and Heather by Elegance, accompanied by M by Elegance, and the personal concierge, the Iceman himself, Mr. George Iceman. Defense against the Inspiration, that will be Jeff McCain, Cassie Lee. And thanks to the chicanery of the Elegance brand, the Elegance brand did retain their titles. So, and while the panel was talking, the Northern Armory came out, and Eric Young was really ticked off. He was complaining about the hometown man and all that. The hometown man did come out. Yeah. The hometown man did come out, and the Northern Armory tried to attack him before the matchup, and then the match happens, and hometown man ended up winning the matchup. That was an impromptu matchup. A third matchup was a trios match, a six-man tag, TNA versus the newest wrestling organization known as Fourth Rope. And Fourth Rope, owned by a couple of famous rappers. And Real One did his little promo shtick that he used to do in the WWE, but a little different. Of course, he's joined forces with Zella Fatu, son of the late great Umaga, and Josh Bishop, who does resemble a little bit of Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid Justice, whatever you want to call him, Sid. And went up against Steve Macklin, the international champion, Mance Warner, and Jake Something. Jake Something was the one that made the battle cry out. Steve Macklin agrees with him, and then Mance Warner kind of reluctantly got involved. But accidental friendly fire ended up costing Team TNA the match. Team Fourth Rope does pick up the victory. Then the main card begins. Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. Great Hands and Tasha Steelz tried to get involved during the matchup, but Tasha Steelz was caught arguing with the referee. Referee ejected her from ringside. But then, a few minutes later, Tasha Steelz came back with a steel chair. Alexander stops her, but ends up hitting Steel with his lumbar check. But in the end, that kind of cost him. Mustafa Ali capitalized on it and picked up the victory. I thought Alexander was going to win it. I thought Ali was going to win it, and he won. I was 1-1 because I thought the Inspiration was going to win. But the Elegance brand retained. So I'm 1-1 my picks. And I'm 1-2 my picks. I picked before the match, I picked Team TNA to win it. That is Jake Sumton, Mance Warner, and Steve Macklin. But Team Fourth Row picked up some 1 and 2. The other match was impromptu. Gia Miller interviewed Joe Hendry as he's getting ready to defend. He's getting ready to try to get that TNA World Title back. Meanwhile, 8-man tag team matchup. It was the System of Matt Cardona versus Dark State. Here's the crazy part. In the System of Matt Cardona team, you get 2 guys from New York and 2 guys from Massachusetts. Oh, you would think the Boston-New York rivalry would probably ruin that. And Dark State would have the advantage. I picked Dark State to win because they're more together than the System and Matt Cardona. But the System and Matt Cardona did end up picking up the victory as Alicia Edwards hands JDC a chair during the match, but he paid a little tribute to a former guest of Rant and Rave, the late great Sabu. And thank you for that, JDC. Meanwhile, Indy Hartwell, Gia Miller interviewed one of the stars of 90 Day Fiancé, Tim Malcolm. Was a big... if you don't know what 90 Day Fiancé is, it's just basically a reality show on TLC. I don't watch any of these reality shows. Don't need to. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that matter. I'd rather stick with my classical game shows from back in the day. Or Takeshi's Castle. I like that show. Anyways, Indy Hartwell went one-on-one with Tessa Blanchard. And Indy Hartwell ended up picking up the victory over the third-generation wrestler. And Gia Miller interviewed Hartwell after the matchup. And Hartwell was thinking about going for the World Knockout Championship. And then Tessa Blanchard has been acting like a total poor sport. A little brat that she is. And I picked Hartwell to win that matchup. So far I'm 2 and 2 in my picks. Actually 2 and 3 in my picks. Anyways, started attacking Indy Hartwell, and then Tessa Blanchard started something with Gia Miller, slaps Gia Miller, and attacks her. As Victoria Crawford kept Indy Hartwell busy. And then while everybody's like, while security came out to break everything up, they sent Crawford and Blanchard to the back, and Santino Marella, and rightfully so, confronts Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard, she's nothing but, she's making fun of Gia Miller. Then she told security, and Santino Marella has had enough, told security to get her out, and so security has kicked out Tessa Blanchard. And there'll be more news on Tessa Blanchard, trust me. Then the Elegance brand celebrates, but the Inspiration confronts them, says, we're gonna get yours. Since you guys tried to cheat, you're gonna get yours. I think next Thursday on Impact will be an interesting situation. Meanwhile, title for title, Monster Slammiversary versus JC Jane, both the NXT Women's Championship and the TNA Knockouts title are on the line. Whoever wins this match, it could change the face of either brand. Fatal Influence gets involved during the matchup, and in the end, Lei Ying Lee and Zaya Brookside started a brawl with Fatal Influence, and ladies and gentlemen, while all that is happening, JC Jane capitalized on the distraction and ended up beating Monster Slamovich to become to remain NXT Women's Champion, and she's now the TNA Knockouts Champion. And it seems to me that JC Jane's causing more trouble than ever. Everybody thought, she was once the third wheel of Toxic Attraction. Everybody loved Mandy Rose, and everybody liked Gigi Dolan. Both ladies are gone from NXT. She forms her own group, Fatal Influence, with Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix. And ladies and gentlemen, JC Jane has made history, folks. And nobody in TNA is very happy about that. Not even Tom Hannafin himself. Then Eric Young confronts Judas Icarus and Travis Williams about losing to the hometown man. Where were you guys? We got to make something. We got cleansing. Are you going to be on board or not? Or get lost. So, and then the X Division title was on the line. This is where things started to pick up. Moose versus Heath Slater. Or not Heath Slater. Leon Slater. Excuse me. Heath Slater. So stupid fly. Anyways, this was a heck of a matchup, and there were close victories. All right, this was a heck of a matchup. Leon Slater challenging Moose for the X Division title. Now, there's records that could be set here. Should Leon Slater win the title, he'll be the youngest champion, beating out Amazing Red by 1 year in TNA history. But if Moose wins, he'll try to go on to beat the record of 289 days by Austin Aries. So the records are on the line in this matchup. And Mercedes Moné. Why am I saying Mercedes Moné? Why did I mention her? Leon Slater's family was there. His girlfriend, mother, and sister were in attendance all the way from the UK to watch him wrestle. And, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new X Division champion. Leon Slater has finally won the title. He is now the youngest TNA X Division champion in the company's history. And as Carlos Silver, the president of TNA, was about to hand the title to Leon Slater, Moose grabbed it and decided to put the title around Slater's waist himself. That is, show of respect, good sportsmanship, very classy part on very classy move on Moose's part, and my respect for Moose has got a little bit higher. And Moose has shown respect to Leon Slater. He's earned Moose's respect. He's earned it. And just when you think that the night couldn't get better for Leon Slater, well, he does idolize the Hardys, but another TNA legend showing up. That's right, current WWE superstar AJ Styles. He has shown up, and like he was advertised, and he gave props to Leon Slater, stamped his seal of approval on Leon Slater, who just, when he heard the music, Leon Slater was running around being hyped. You think, So, to me, Leon Slater had the best night of his life. He won the X Division title in front of his mother, sister, and girlfriend. And then AJ Styles shows up and gives him props, gives him a seal of approval, a shake hand, a hug. I think Leon Slater's got to be beaming right now. He's got to be on cloud 9. Probably he's going to address this. I know he will. I mean, you're talking about this. He gave a motivational speech to the Hardys. We'll get to them in a minute. But I gotta tell you, just seeing imagine you're in Leon Slater's shoes right now. Okay, you just won the X Division title, and all of a sudden, a legend who basically won one of the foundation blocks of the X Division showing up, and gave you the seal of approval. Imagine that. Slater probably will not, I'm sure Slater is so happy, is still smiling right now. He'll have to have that smile surgically removed. But I'll tell you one thing, he's Slater though, I'm happy for him, man. He's earned this opportunity, he deserves it. He earned it. In fact, even AJ Styles, don't listen to them, you don't deserve it, you earned it. And everybody's clapping, and they agree. He's earned it. He deserves it, and he earns it, and he earned it. He earned it, and he deserves it. That's my personal opinion. So that was great. In attendance, former Red Sox legend Johnny Damon, along with former TNA star Zach Clayton, was there as well in attendance. And then the tag team title match in a 4-way ladder match. Holy Christmas! This was one of the craziest ladder matches I have ever seen. I mean, there was one part where okay, so Trey Miguel is out, Myron Reed is in. As you know, his fiance is Killer Kelly, current TNA Knockout. He's got his kids here and everything else, and he's teamed up with Zachary Wentz. And then you got the Nevis defending champions. You get the Hardys saying if they don't win the titles, it's over. And then you got First Class. This matchup was the craziest matchup. There's one landing where AJ Styles' legs were in between the two rungs as they tipped over and landed. It was gingerly, man. And it was her, not AJ Styles, AJ Francis. I keep mentioning AJ Styles. Not AJ Styles on the brain for me. So AJ Francis ends up getting hit in the nuts with one of the rungs of the ladder as they fell off. I'm hoping Casey Navarro is okay because he was wrestling with a with a hurt leg, so he might have to come check that out afterwards. It was crazy. It was crazy, and Jeff Hardy. So Jeff Hardy, right? So Matt Hardy goes back because all the ladders are broken. So Matt Hardy goes, "I want to go back and get a ladder." So Jeff Hardy, I thought he was telling the I thought he was telling one of the stagehands, "Hey, we're going to go back and get a ladder," but he was asking for a controller or something. So he puts the controller and boom down like that, and then right next to the tag team titles, you know those ladders that you use like the helicopter, you throw a ladder down. And Tom Hennepin goes, "What is this, Batman 1966?" I cracked up to the place, like, you know what? We'll call that ladder the Batman 66 ladder from here on in. I tweeted that to him. Hopefully he responds. I tagged him in it because he said, "What's this, Batman 1966?" Like the Batman 66 ladder. You know, one of those ladders you call down from a helicopter or something like that. So. And they used that ladder to climb for the belts, and Jeff Hardy ended up climbing the ladder, and the Hardys are once again the TNA Tag Team Champions. Using the Batman 66 ladders. Batman. You know, it's nuts. You know, it could get even better when another TNA legend showed up. The current coach of LFG, one of the current coaches, Bully Ray, showed up and decided to challenge the Hardys for one last match, October, Bound for Glory, with Devon. Does Devon even know this is going to happen? But nevertheless, the challenge is thrown out. I'm sure the Hardys will accept. You know, one more match. And then Santino Marella addresses in the crowd. He says the reason why the panel's not here, one of the panels missing. Tessa Blanchard attacked G. Miller, she said. And he just made the announcement that Tessa Blanchard has been suspended indefinitely. Tessa, you shouldn't have messed with someone who was not a wrestler. But then again, technically, Gia Miller is a wrestler. I'm sure she wrestled in the other indies before. It's too bad that Ace Austin was not there, man. He would have protected her. But Tessa Blanchard is some kind of psychotic maniac. She may be beautiful on the outside, but I don't even want to mess with her at the point. So, and then Frank Kazarian comes out and said the reason why Slammiversary still exists because someone like me, and he's trying to make all the event all about himself, which Tom Hennepin accused him of, as he was joining on commentary for the TNA World Title triple threat match between Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana. Trick Williams has his own entrance with the Harlem Gospel Choir. And you got, and Mike Santana had one of the rappers who looks like freaking Brodus Clay, wrap him to the ring. And then, during the matchup, as Kazarian joined on commentary, he gets involved in the matchup. Tom Hennepin's yelling at him, "What the heck is wrong with you?" Blah, 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 blah. And then the referee saw it and said, you're getting, and he goes, "Thank you." Tom Hennepin goes, "Thank you." Kicked him out, and Matthew Redwall kind of changed his tune a little bit, saying, "Hey, I'm a fan of the guy and all, but at this situation like this, we can't afford any more shenanigans. The only shenanigans he can afford is mine. He's like, I put him out here every single day." Anyways, Mike Santana hit around the block clothesline twice on Joe Hendry, but then as he goes to pin Joe Hendry to win the title, Trick Williams throws him out of the ring as he was getting checked on by the doctors at one point. It was between the two of them, and Trick Williams does retain the title, which means the two main titles, the Knockouts title and the Knockouts World title and the TNA World Heavyweight title are now in the hands of NXT wrestlers. Well, final score for these 9 matches. If I got 5 wrong, predictions wrong, 4 gotten right. Well, that's all the time that we have on this show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Episode 2404. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit of tic-tac-toe, okay? So, I will see you later. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day. And until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.